Welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I used a wrong diagram from time-lapse 1935 to 2313, I think, of my last video. So now I want to show you the correct diagram and explain about frequency. Let us start all over. Let us reminisce what we have learned last time about my discovery. It all started with my discovering another theoretical way of explaining Planck's constant, which goes like h equal to 119 times mass of proton divided by speed of light. Let us first see what 119 means from my definition of Planck's constant. Basically, the difference is originally Planck's constant is an arbitrary constant which was arrived at by conducting experiments in the laboratory. So that is not a theoretical explanation of Planck's constant. So what I introduced and what I rather stumbled upon is that it has a theoretical explanation. Now, when 119 protons come together, they split into 3 into 10 raised to 8 quanta. That means 119 is a visible electromagnetic spectrum. Mind you, there are only 118 elements in periodic table. There are spelling errors everywhere. How they crept in, I don't know. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. There is no place for 119 because it is not an element but energy packet which splits in two and supplies the required quanta energy needed by the 118 elements below. So let us say if 118 needs energy, then 119 splits into 118 and 1 and supplies the necessary 118 quanta for element 118. So below 119 is a quantum world. Let us find out what 120 protons do. Basically, let me explain about the basic concept of atom. Any student of physics and chemistry knows that the atom contains three parts, basically protons, neutrons, and then electrons. Leave the quarks and the inner things, that's not for discussion today. So these main ingredients of an atom, of these ingredients, 119 is like the proton, 121 is like the atom having all the electron, including electrons, and 120 guy is like the neutron. So now you get the figure. Basically 119 is like proton, 120 is a neutron, 121 is the atom itself. So the basically the entanglement happens here. Atom, the matter, converts into 119 the energy. And in classical physics, I need to explain one more concept here. In classical physics, Newton thought the light was a particle, and till Huygens came and explained that light behaves like a wave, nobody thought that it could be a wave. Everybody thought of light as material, like particles. So here 121 is the particle, 119 part is the electromagnetic radiation, meaning wave. Till 121 it behaves like atom, and from 119, not from, in fact 119 alone behaves like electromagnetic radiation. So that is the that explains the duality of dual nature of light. Now comes the turn of 121 to be discussed. The guide is most known object in physics. You guessed it right. This is the great atom itself. It is very stable and requires a lot of energy to break its structure. Now you may have realized why I said discovery gives a peep into the quantum world. So I hope now you're getting the picture, big picture rather. It's almost like nature has given up its most jealously guarded secret. Now we know the structure of atom and its contents. Basically, when you know the what lies beneath, yeah. So beneath the atom, that is the in the atomic world, the more popularly known as the quantum world. What happens in the quantum world, how it is constructed, built, then you will know a lot about the structure of atom. Now that we know the relation between the three-dimensional matter, which is 121 in the form of cube, and energy, which is 119 in the form of electromagnetic radiation, it is very easy to delve into the quantum world and explore its very structure. Now let us learn how few basic geometric objects that are useful in understanding the ionic and atomic world are created. So now let us go to the next part. As I have already explained string theory, at least what I know of string theory, we know that the building block of whole universe is the string. Let us see how string would look like in our theory and how we can construct different geometric objects using the same. Let us start with the dot, which is the beginning point for all the structures. Everything starts from a dot, right? There's no lesser particle. I will start with dot, which is common for both cubical and spherical objects. Go on explaining different equivalent structures. And before that, basically, I need to explain the figure which was the diagram which was wrong. This is how it should have looked like. Here I have given you planet, branch of tree, both this is the topmost branch of the tree of life. This is the topmost branch of tree of knowledge. Of course, there's your Saturn, Earth, Venus, Mercury, and I have given frequency, angle, energy I mentioned here, and of course symbol. So this guy 10 raised to 2 is the string we are talking about here. So basically frequency, internal angle of polygon, energy are all synonymous. It is like if you take a radius and revolve the radius around the circle. So I mean basically describe a circle with a radius, then you'll be describing different angles, right? The angle you start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like up till 360 degrees. Once the whole cycle is complete, cyclically, if you go on rotating the like the hand of a clock. If you rotate, then it will describe 360 degrees. So this is the beginning of that angle. If you describe, let us say 10 raised to 2, that's the frequency. Mind you, whenever we talk in terms of frequency, energy is nothing but Planck's constant into frequency. So these are all almost synonymous. Okay. Yeah. So 10 raised to 2 is the string guy. And then we have 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 8. Here, basically, the relevant platonic solids are also mentioned here. The string is like tetrahedron. The 10 raised to 4 is like octahedron. 10 raised to 8 is like cube. 10 raised to 16 is like icosahedron. 10 raised to 32 is like dodecahedron. 10 raised to 64 is like six-dimensional cube, 10 raised to 120 is like a Metatron, 10 raised to 108 is like a pentad. So that's what, this is the figure I wanted to show you. These are the branches. The first one, Mercury, Venus is second, Earth is third. This, I am interested basically in this row. You know, my theory has got everything to do with this row. In the sense, when the light hits the Earth's atmosphere, then the quantum entanglement happens. And 1331 is Saturn, Uranus is this one, Neptune is that one. So yeah, let us go back to our theory. That was the very purpose of my video, basically to explain how these frequency, what I meant by frequency. Now, on a relevant note, I want to explain this also. Basically, when we say microcosm and macrocosm, I have already touched upon frequency, angle, energy already, and we have in especially esoteric terminology, we very regularly talk about souls, spirits, body, matter, right? This part is basically a scientific part. Ion is the energy inside the atom, and atom is the matter. So this is on the matter side, microcosm. This is on the macrocosm. Is on the this is on the macrocosm is on the ion is on the macrocosm side. This cube is on macrocosm. So energy is always represented by straight lines. Einstein told you that light always travels in straight lines, right? This is what light is about and light beings are about. Macrocosm is nothing but a spiritual world in which light beings live. Macrocosm is where we, the mortals, live. We are matters and spirit. There is no death for spirit. The constant construct of death is only for microcosm when you lose the body, right? So what ion is to atom, if you know scientifically, ion is the energy inside the atom is the body like thing. So what ion is to atom, spirit is to matter, soul is to body. I just wanted to explain that also. Now let us go back see how we built the whole thing from scratch. For to know how these structures, the basic geometric figures are built, then we need to know what is called the integration used in calculus. There's a mathematical phenomena called integration in calculus. Any high school student would be knowing what integration means, and the other part, the opposite of integration, is of course differentiation. So this is the symbol of integration. It's called integral. So this we need to know about this to understand further. So what I am doing here is I am integrating a variable x which is raised to a integer n. So if I integrate x with x raised to n with respect to x, then what I will get is x raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. That is the formula. So we'll be using this formula when constructing the figures. We need this to understand how basic geometric structures like cube and sphere are built from string. Now we will see how they are built here. Now let us see how we can build both ionic world and the atomic world uh, from scratch. That is the dot. The 0th level is dot. So we take one dot, keep another dot beside that, another dot beside that, another dot in a straight line, so that they form a straight line. This is the basic ionic structure, that is a straight line, which is nothing but the string. So now proceeding further, in the second level we take 10 or 10 raised to 2 and square it. To what will get, we will get 10 raised to 4, which is in the shape of a square, of course. So what we should remember about energy is that energy always squares. Let's say if we destroy 1 kg of mass, then what amount of energy we'll get? We will get c squared of joules of energy as per Einstein's equation, right? So energy always squares. So 10 raised to 2 becomes 10 raised to 4. This becomes 10 raised to 8. So why we have to take 1, 2, 3? That I explained, I think, in my earlier videos. So basically the basic structure is straight line. From straight line we get square. From square you get the cube. Now let us go back to the matter side. How matter is formed? Same dot again, and this dot is placed in such a way, one beside the other dots, such a way that they form a half circle. Half circle is the beginning point for, it is the curve which is the beginning point for any of the matter to form. And then we take two of them. This is nothing but I have shown these curves separately because I wanted to show that there are two levels involved here, but basically this is a circle. Okay, if you join these two parts, then it is a circle. That's what I mean. So 11 is equivalent to circle, and then comes the what do you call area of circle. The 121 is nothing but area of the circle, and 1331 is nothing but the cube of the circle. So how do we create this matter? Let us see. Here this should have been 1 by 1. That is sorry, not 1 by 1. This is 11, of course. That is 11. Yeah, that is 11. The first curve, and this is 121. When you integrate 11, then you get 121, of course, right? This two, you are taking two semicircles and then integrating them, you will get the pi r square. Pi r is nothing but one semicircle, 2 pi r squares, the other semicircle, and you integrate them to get the pi r square. That is the area. That's how we got the area. Now let us see how we got the sphere. For sphere, we have to take 4 of these pi r squares surface areas. And that when you integrate, it gives the volume of the sphere, 4/3 pi r cube, right? So this is how basically we get the we build the matter. So what you might have observed is, while the energy ionic side squares up, the matter side it integrates. So matter is always integrated, whereas energy is always squared, one or the other. So and now why we took 1, 2, 3 of these structures? Because I have already explained some time back that the visible light basically starts from 3 into 10 raised to 8 and goes further down, splits down to 2 into 10 raised to 4 and 1 into 10 raised to 2. The total being, the total frequency being 14, 8 plus 4 plus 2. That is 6 into 10 raised to 14 is the total range of the energy. And here if we observe that, that's why we have the natural numbers 1, 2, 3. But on the matter side the levels are different. Here you see, here we took 1, here we had to take 2, here we had to take 4. So I think it won't be amiss to tell you one thing about the black holes. When you look from distance, the though the inside the black hole, it is a three-dimensional structure. When you look from outside, all the information is basically on the surface of this sphere. If you think of this sphere as a black hole, so then it will be in this 4 pi r squared. All the data will be on the surface of the sphere. Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to explain. Yeah, let us proceed with our 121 guy now. Energy. So what have I left out? Anything? I am checking just. Yes, this is how the first. This is basically 10 raised to 64, 6 of dimensional cube, and out of the 6-dimensional cubes we will get 3-dimensional arrays of light. 3 into 10 raised to 8, this is 3 into 10 raised to 8. 3 into 10 raised to 8 further disintegrates into squares everywhere. Every 3 into raised to 8 gets divided into squares. Here it is missing, I think. Yeah, but you get the meaning, right? So here, again, not here, here. So this 6-dimensional cube divides into two opposite objects of 3 into 3-dimensional objects, two 3-dimensional objects, and this 3-dimensional object divides into 2-dimensional squares. 2-dimensional squares divided into a single dimensional 10 raised to 2. 10 raised to 2 meaning the string. So basically this, starting with this string, you build a square. This square, using the squares, you build the 3-dimensional light, and 3-dimensional light again becomes the 6-dimensional matter. So this is how the quadratic world looks like. And there was something I wanted to discuss finally. This is back to my invention, and This is another what do you call inferred concept. Any student of physics knows that Newton's first law says F equal to ma. That is, no every object remains in a state of uniform motion unless it is acted upon by an external force. That is what in a formula it is shown like this: F equal to ma, right? F equal to ma is Newton's first law. And it has, if you compute the dimensions, if you look at the dimensions, it has one dimension of mass, one dimension of length, two negative dimensions of time. Planck's constant, on the other hand, see, earlier there were no dimensions for Planck's constant, and I introduced the dimensions for Planck's constant because here you have the proof. It is nothing but 119 times mass of proton divided by 3 into 10 raised to 8. So if you take these dimensions, one dimension of mass, two dimensions of what do you call length, and two negative dimensions of time, you will get. And Kepler's law, if you look at L cube by 3 to t square equal to gm by 4 pi squared, then you will get the dimensions one dimension of mass, three dimensions of length, and two negative dimensions of time. So if you extend this logically, you will get my law. So I call it Prasad's law. So since this was basically Planck's constant, it was basically 119 times mass of proton divided by its speed of light, then this, following the same logic, this should be 14639 times mass of sun divided by 6 into 10 raised to 64. That is what I feel is the formula for life. Because this is where, this is 10 raised to 64 basically. It is the, it represents sun. The 64 is nothing but 4 cube. So 4 cube, I have already, in my previous videos, I already shown you that. I'll show you once again probably, so that one who did not watch my previous videos can now know what I mean by this. This is the one. This is basically this was used in my previous videos to explain the formation of the planets. Moon is 3 cube here, Sun is 4 cube, Betelgeuse is 5 cube. So all these together, they I will show the slide which explains this probably. Then yeah, this is a slide which explains that 5 cube is Yaldabaoth, Sun is 4 cube, Moon is 3 cube. That is the total. If you sum these three, because I have shown you that was a right angle triangle, right? This is the, from here to here, this portion is a right angle triangle. So the sum of these three cubes will become 216, which is nothing but 6 cube. So 6 cube, in my opinion, is the Time Lord, or the one who in Hindu mythology they call Mahakala. Mahakala is the great Time Lord, literally. So that's the guy who is represented by 216, and I have also given the split of the different planets, how they are formed, and it's an oft-beaten track for me at least. If you don't, if you didn't watch any of my previous videos, please watch them so that you will understand this concept. Okay, so yeah, where were we? I deviated, I think. I will once again. Yeah, I'll conclude here. This is a grade 64, 10 raised to 64, and it is a 6-dimensional cube, which divides, of course, as I have shown you, the split right here. It divides into this cube, and that this cube divides into square, that square divides into this string, so we basically end up with our guy 10 raised to 2. So this is the object that I saw on that fateful evening in 1992, and it took me around say 30 years to figure it out what that guy was. But then you see, science is so interesting. Math, science, in fact, they are everything. And this is my theory of everything. Thank you.